Master of Science in Education, International Teaching and Global Leadership, also known as ITGL Cohort, virtual webinar. My name is Sion John. I'm the Assistant Director of Admissions here at the Johns Hopkins School of Education. Also presenting today, I have my colleague from the Office of Admissions, and she will introduce herself.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Tanya McMillan. I am an admissions coordinator here at the School of Education. Welcome.
Also presenting today, we have Program Director, Dr. Richard Weisenhoff, and Program Administrator, Miss Betsy Mayotte.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Just a friendly reminder, today's webinar is being recorded. We will send you the recorded video within 1 week. There will also be a Q&A session at the end of the presentation. Please type your question in the Q&A box, and we will read and answer your questions. Next, I would like to share the agenda for today's presentation. We will kick off the presentation sharing an overview of the Johns Hopkins School of Education. Then Dr. Weisenhoff and Ms. Mayotte will go over the details of the ITGL program. Lastly, we'll cover admissions requirements, financial aid, and leave the floor open for questions at the end. And to start, we are one of 9 schools at the Johns Hopkins University. We began offering college courses for teachers in 1909, and then we became our own school in 2007. We are proud to share that the Johns Hopkins School of Education is consistently ranked one of the top schools in education by the U.S. News and World Report. And for school enrollment, we have approximately 1,741 students and offer 25 graduate programs, which includes our doctoral, master's, and graduate certificate programs. And we do have a strong network of over 24,000 SOE alums. Moving on to faculty introductions. Dr. Weisenhoff is the faculty lead for the ITGL program. Dr. Weisenhoff received his Doctor of Education from the University of Maryland, College Park. His research focus is using technology to deliver personalized learning. And lastly, Dr. Weisenhoff's prior experience includes being the Executive Director of Academics for the Baltimore County Public School System. Moving on to Ms. Betsy Mayotte. Ms. Mayotte is the Program Administrator for the ITGL program. Her prior experience includes Associate Dean at the School of Education, Vice President at Thompson Prometric, Director of the School of Education, and Director of Development at Stevenson College. At this time, I will hand the floor over to Dr. Weisenhoff for the program presentation.
Okay, so my part in this presentation is to discuss the academics, the curriculum, what you should expect to see if you come and join our program at Johns Hopkins University. This slide that we have up here talks about what our objective is for the program. And there's a few salient points that I want to mention. Okay, the first one is that we are an international program, and we're looking at all of our students becoming international. We do have some students who are citizens of this country, but predominantly our program consists of students who are international in nature. Okay, what we are trying to do is create leaders. So there's a heavy emphasis on leadership within the program. And we're trying to provide the tools for you so that you can go back home after finishing the program and transform schools, transform systems, or work in whatever environment you choose to do it. We have a lot of students who go work in the business of education. And we're trying to ensure that you have the background and the research that you can do that. We have 2 types of courses, and I'll talk more about it later on: core courses and focus area courses, based upon which focus area you choose to go. And we really do believe in blending theory and practice. You'll learn all about the current research and then have an opportunity to see that research in practice in different environments throughout the Baltimore area. Next slide. So why would you want to come to ITGL at Johns Hopkins School of Education? There are some points that I would like to mention about that, to try to share why we think our program is a bit unique in the country. First of all, our program is 33 credits. Unless you're in the TEFL area, You complete the program in 1 year. So it's a fairly fast track, intense program. We complete it in a fall, a spring, and a summer. And all of our classes are in person. We do not do online classes. Each course you take will be in person in a classroom with a faculty member. We really focus, as I said, on leadership, and we have courses in leadership, and we bring leadership theories into all of our classes throughout the program. We also know that you're all international. While many of you have been in the United States for your undergraduate work and some for your high school, we also know that transitioning into a new country could be difficult. So we provide support to you to make that transition easier for all of our international students. And once again, that blending of theory and practice is very important to us. In many programs, you'll hear all about the research, but not have the opportunity to see it in action. In our program, you'll have the opportunity to choose an education setting, whether it's in business or in a school or at the university, so you can see that research in play. And of course, I would be remiss if I didn't mention that all of our courses are taught by Johns Hopkins University faculty or adjunct instructors, and all of them really do have a strong background in education. Myself alone, I've been in education for 47 years, and I've worked in many different environments and tried to bring all of that into the classroom. So who is ITGL ideal for? So you can see, once again, it's ideal for people who are interested in learning about primary and secondary global education leadership. There's a bunch of words in there that are really important. We focus on the pre-K to 12 environment, but we also discuss higher education within the program. We used to offer a leadership class that was focused really on the United States, and we realized that we were missing that. So we've rewritten our leadership classes to ensure that it's looking at it from a global perspective. Within the program, you're going to learn cognitive learning theory. You'll learn what the latest research is on brain, what the latest research shows on what is successful in helping students learn within the classroom. And you'll be steeped in the research that focuses on that. And then, because we are a major research institution in this country, we do focus quite a bit on educational research methodology. You'll have a specific course on action research, where you get an opportunity to develop your own research project. But more importantly, you'll spend a lot of time reviewing current research to see what is really happening in education throughout the world. Just a quick overview. As I said, we're a 33 credit program. It's not 11 credits each semester. We divide it up, and I'll show you how it's divided up in a little bit. If you're interested in TEFL, in addition to the 33 credits, you have to take 2 additional 1-credit classes. And there's a cost associated with it that Ms. Mayat will talk about later on. All of our classes, as I said, are in person. The classes will be in Baltimore on the Homewood campus. In the current year, we have 159 students in our current cohort. And as I said, the course is 3 semesters, so you'll finish it in 1 academic year, finishing it starting at the end of August. Typically, we start with an orientation in around August 24th, and the following week classes begin. You'll finish the following July, usually around July 20th, based on the calendar. We speak about focus areas in our program. It's not a major, but what it is an opportunity for you to focus, and that's the why we use the word focus, to think about specific areas that you're interested in. Within the focus area, you'll take 3 classes, 1 each semester. And we have right now 6 focus areas that we offer. And you must select 1 focus area at the time that you accept our offer for admittance into the program. We have a program in early childhood, where you study education, pre-K, usually around age 3 up through first grade. We have a program in digital age teaching and learning, which focuses on the integration of technology into instruction and into the classroom, what works and what doesn't work in that area. And you look at the different issues that are focused around bringing technology into the classroom. Creative and innovative education for those people who I like to call thinking outside of the box, looking outside of what the programs we currently offer and what we could be doing in the future that would be more creative in the classroom. In that program, we talk about specific gifted learners and what is the nature of a gifted learner. And we have a second course where we focus on creating a program, on developing a program that would meet the needs of those types of students, and finishing with a course on assessment for those students. One of our more popular programs now is Entrepreneur in Education. These are for students who are not necessarily interested in going to work in the classroom, although we do have students that do that, and we call them our intrapreneurs as opposed to our entrepreneurs. But within the Entrepreneur in Education program, our students create a business plan and talk about the different aspects of making that successful. And they do that through the course of the 3 semesters. If you're interested in STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, there is that particular focus area. So that goes beyond digital age teaching and learning, which is a technology program, and talks about science and math and engineering within the program. And our other very popular program right now is teaching English as a foreign language. If you're interested in learning how you can start a program when you go back home to teach native speakers English, this is the program, that's the focus area for you. So what are the advantages of the program? So I hinted about the specialized international student orientation. We do have an orientation program that we do before school starts to make sure that you're comfortable with all of the processes and procedures and opportunities that are available to you while you're a member of the Johns Hopkins University community. We also continue that orientation throughout the time that you're here. Our partner ACEE offers different kinds of opportunities for you. Hopkins has tremendous opportunities where you can go to clubs, go to the gym, just be part of our community. And we do an orientation to ensure that you're aware of all the different opportunities that are available to you. We have cultural exchange and enrichment activities so that you have an opportunity to also focus on the social as well as the academic, and have an opportunity to meet all of the students in the cohort and have an opportunity, as well as at the Hopkins, as well as in Hopkins community generally. And you have that nice time to socialize. We provide a lot of support for you as you grow within the program. We know that not all of you are very comfortable as native speakers. So we provide tutorial support for you, writing support for you. And in addition, each of you will be assigned an advisor. I'm the advisor for the digital age teaching and learning students, and we're available 24/7 should anything happen that you need help, or if you want to come and talk about what's going to happen after you graduate from our program, whether it's reference letters, recommendations for colleges, or whatever. We're here to assist you with that. The blending of formal and informal learning is very important for us, and that goes back to that notion of theory and practice. You'll get the formal learning in the classes, in the 11 classes that you'll be taking here throughout the program. But we know that learning occurs outside of the classroom as well. And for that reason, we require a non-credit extended learning for the fall and the spring, where we put you into educational settings of your choice so that you have an opportunity to informally learn about education in the United States and also internationally. And as I said before, we do have language and tutoring support services that are free of charge for you. In other programs in universities, you'll find that there's usually a cost associated with getting writing help, or if you're running behind a little bit and you need tutoring. We have tutors that are available to you. We also have teaching assistants who we hire 3 teaching assistants each year from the cohort. So those are students that have gone through the program and know the nuances of the ITGL program, and they can provide real good one-on-one help to you should you be running into any kind of issues. So how are the courses broken down? So you can see we have 3 columns at the top: fall, the spring, and the summer. In the fall, you'll take three credit courses, 1 2-credit seminar, and then the extended learning, which, as I said before, is a non-credit, but still is required for all students. So it's a total of 11 credits in the fall. We start off with 1 course shy, because what we found in the past is that there's a period of getting used to being here at Hopkins, and we wanted to give you an opportunity to not have as heavy a course load in the fall, so that you can feel comfortable. In the spring, you'll take 4 3-credit courses, 1 2-credit seminar, and then the extended learning, for a total of 14 credits. And then in the summer, it's 2 3-credit courses. It's a shortened, the summer semester is only 8 weeks, as opposed to the 15 weeks that we do during the fall and the spring. So we lessen the load in terms of the number of courses, although it's a little bit more intense, because you're meeting typically twice a week in the summer. In the fall and the spring, you meet each class once a week. And there's also the 2-credit seminar. And in the summer, that 2-credit seminar, for the most part, is used to help you finish your digital portfolio, which is your master's thesis for the program. So it's a total of 8 credits that you take in the summer. There are 3 types of courses that we talk about you taking. One type is a required course for anybody who's getting a Master of Science in Education, which is the degree that you'll be awarded when you successfully complete the program. And that's for any student who's getting a Master of Science in Education throughout the School of Education, because we have a Master of Science in Education that's awarded in other programs at the school. We also know that every student has to take core courses. So these are courses that we've identified that are important for any student, no matter what your focus area. And that's courses in global analysis policies. There's a global leadership class. There's a course on brain research called Mind, Brain, and Teaching. We have a course in Introduction to Entrepreneurship. We've tried to put together a set of courses in the core that really appeal and apply to international students. In addition to those required courses for the Master of Science and the ITGL core courses, you must take 3 courses in your focus area, 1 each semester. And those courses you'll only be in with students who are in your particular cohort. So if you're an entrepreneur and education student, you will be in those classes only with other students who are entrepreneur and education. The core courses you'll be in with students from all the different focus areas. And that provides for a more lively conversation and broadens and puts more depth maybe into the core courses. If you would like to see any of the course descriptions, I will refer you to that website that you see listed there. In addition to that website, the ITGL program has its own cohort website with even more information for you, and we'll make that available to you by the end of this presentation. At this point, I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Mayotte, who will give you more specifics about how do you apply and what you need to know.
Thank you, Dr. Weisenhoff. On this slide, you will see some quotes. We call these student testimonials. And there are quite a few words on this slide. And you don't necessarily need to read all of these right now. But what we wanted to do is share with you some of the most important benefits that our students and our alums value as a result of the program. You will have time to read these testimonials. You will receive this presentation in your email, and also this will be on our website. So you'll always have time to go back to this slide. But the first point here, the first testimonial, is from one of our students who talks about how important the ITGL cohort is in making connections. And those connections are with other students. They are with, excuse me, they are with students in the ITGL cohort, students in the School of Education, and students in the university. And the connections are also with our faculty. Just yesterday, one of our faculty members showed me a letter he received from one of our graduates in our very first cohort. So this was several years ago, and it's just a very heartwarming to us to hear from our alums and to know how much they value the experience in the ITGL cohort. We know, because our alums tell us, that they value learning how to be a good teacher from what they are observing in the classroom. Our students also do understand, they do grasp, and they do value that connection between theory and practice. As Dr. Weisenhoff was saying, it is not just what we teach in the classroom, but also really going out into educational experiences in the community through our extended learning program. And finally, our students and our alums tell us that they really value the global perspective of this program. Johns Hopkins University is a global institution, and you'll have that experience at the university as well as in this program. So you will hear these testimonials and more as you look on our ITGL cohort site. You could contact any one of our alums whose information is on the cohort site, and they would be more than happy to tell you their experiences in the program. So next, you'll hear from our admissions office on application requirements.
Thank you, Ms. Mayotte and Dr. Weisenhoff. Next, we're going to continue by going over the application requirements for the ITGL program. Applicants must submit a completed application, which can be found on our website. Please keep in mind there is an $80 application fee when you submit your application. You will also need an updated resume or CV. Next, an essay must be uploaded. Please visit our website on the admissions webpage to learn more about the essay portion of the application. 2 letters of recommendation. If you're unable to have 1 academic letter of recommendation, we will accept 2 professional letters of recommendation. Also, we require all official transcripts, including institutions you may have taken courses but did not receive a degree. Again, this is from all post-secondary institutions that you have attended. Lastly, the application process begins with a video screening administered by ACEE Global. Applicants who complete the screening phase and meet the admission criteria will be instructed by ACEE to submit an online application to the MS ITGL cohort. Also, applicants must select a focus area as well on their application. For fall 2023 admission, applicants are encouraged to complete the application requirements as early as possible before the program reaches capacity. Admissions decisions are delivered via email to candidates on a rolling basis, typically 4 weeks after the application is submitted with all materials received. The early application deadline for the ITGL Distinguished Fellow Scholarship Consideration is February 15, 2023. The final application deadline is March 31st, 2023. And the deadline to schedule the ACEE screening interview is March 21st, 2023. For international students, there are a few additional steps that you will need to take in order to complete the application process. You must submit a TOEFL or IELTS score. Also, please note if you hold qualifying degrees or have earned credits from institutions outside of the United States, you must have your academic records evaluated by an accredited independent credential evaluation agency prior to being considered for admission to the MS-ITGL program. Additionally, it is the student's responsibility to provide the necessary documentation and payment to an approved credential evaluation service, and to request that an official copy of that evaluation report be sent directly to the School of Education's admissions office from the evaluation agency. Here we have information on scholarships and financial aid. The ITGL Distinguished Fellows Scholarship is a new merit-based scholarship, which will offer a limited number of merit-based scholarships for fall 2023. Information on external scholarships for international students can be found online at edupass.org. Also, if you're interested in applying for federal financial aid, we strongly encourage you to apply for financial aid by completing the FAFSA form when you start your application. Please note that permanent residents and U.S. citizens are eligible to apply for federal financial aid funding. You may also visit our website if you have any questions relating to financial aid. You'll also find contact information for the Office of Financial Aid there, as well as details on loans and scholarships that are available as well. And now I'll hand it back over to Ms. Mayotte.
Thank you, Ms. McMillan. And here is a slide that summarizes for you the tuition and fees for the ITGL cohort program. You will also find this information on our website, but I wanted to go over this with you right now. And you'll see that the tuition for the program is $52,920. That's for the 33 credit program. Students who are in the TEFL program actually take additional credits, and so the tuition is slightly higher. This tuition is for the 3 semesters that Dr. Weisenhoff outlined for you. All international full-time students are required to purchase the JHU insurance, and you will be billed separately for that in fall semester and spring semester. All students pay a technology fee and an application fee when you go into Slate and begin your application. So the total mandatory expenses are right here at the bottom. For the 33 credit program, $59,000, and for the TEFL program, slightly higher, as you can see. The tuition includes the non-refundable tuition deposit of $3,000, and this would be paid upon acceptance of your offer of admission. So we can move to the next slide. Now, we are delighted to be able to offer to our ITGL cohort students the option of selecting 2 services that are offered by our collaborator, ACEE. One of those services is housing services. And we find this a valuable service to offer to our students because Johns Hopkins does have a limited amount of housing right around the university campus. And for international students who are arriving right before classes begin, sometimes very, very stressful to be able to find an apartment, to be able to set it up with all of the furnishings that you would need, to have all the utilities you need. And so we offer this housing service through ACEE. And you can find much more information about the service on our website, but you can see a list here of all of the amenities, all of the benefits that are included in the housing service. So the housing is right near the Hopkins campus, and we have about a fourth of our students are in housing each year. Again, this is an option. It is certainly not required, but we encourage you to look into this if it sounds of value to you as you're planning for your year of study at Johns Hopkins. In the next slide, you will see information about the other service, which is career coaching. And this is an opportunity for our ITGL cohort students to have personalized career coaching during the year of the program. And the idea behind the career coaching is to help our students as they maximize the learning experiences in the program. And many of our students are interested in continuing through optional practical training, OPT, after their year in the program. So the career coaching is a very big help in setting students for that experience. Once again, the career coaching is an option. not certainly not required, but something that you might want to look into as a way of enhancing your year of experience in the program. In the next 2 slides, you're actually going to see what we call our ITGL newly admitted student checklist. And there are 8 steps in the checklist. And you've heard us mention a few of these steps already. So students who are offered admission to the program are asked to accept their offer and pay their non-refundable deposit of $3,000 within 14 days after receiving the offer of admission. At that time, we also ask new Hopkins students to set up their JHU email, and you will be notified when our International Services Office is ready for you to begin the I-20 process. And as soon as you are notified, that we would ask you to proceed with getting your I-20 as in a timely fashion. The steps 5 through 8 on our next slide will explain that we ask you to, if you are interested in the housing or career services, to confirm your interest in those services. And then once we hear from you, we will create an acknowledgement form for you to sign. Actually, I will send that acknowledgement form to you, and you will be asked to sign the acknowledgement form and return it to us. The reason this acknowledgement form is so important is that it helps all of us to confirm your understanding of the program, your understanding of the focus area you've selected, and your responsibilities as a JHU student. And students in the ITGL cohort program pay the full mandatory expenses by June 15th. And the acknowledgement form helps all of us to confirm that you understand that that is the process we use for this program. Often students ask us, why is it that we require full payment before the program begins? And the answer to that is that the program is an accelerated program. As you heard Dr. Weisenhoff explains, it is just a 3-semester program. And we want to make sure that students have paid fully and would be able to finish the program completely in 1 year. Because it's a cohort program, if a student was not able to continue through those 3 semesters, it would be difficult to complete the program later. So that's the reason that we require the payment up by June 15th. So we know you have been listening to our presentation, and we are so happy that so many of you are with us today. And I think our colleagues in the admissions office are going to help us as we engage in the question and answer session.
Attending today's virtual webinar. At this time, we would like to open up the floor for questions. And it looks like we have some couple questions. Ms. Mayan and Dr. Weisenhoff, if you want to kick us off and read the questions and answer the questions, we would appreciate that.
My pleasure. So the first question is there any U.S. classroom experience for international students? So I'm a little confused about the question. Perhaps you can clarify a little bit, but are you asking, if you're asking, will you be able to be in a U.S. classroom while you're here? The answer to that question is definitely, if that's what your interest is. We have contracted with a number of schools in the Baltimore area, and as part of your extended learning time with us, you could opt, you don't have to, but you could opt to make your extended learning experience one where you'll be in a classroom either at the elementary, middle, or high school level. If your question is, do you have to have experience prior to coming into the program? The answer to that question is no. We are a school of education. This is not a program that's going to provide a teaching certificate at the end of it, because there are other stringent requirements that we would not be able to complete within the time period of the program. So we do not offer a teaching certificate upon completion of the program. So because of that, you don't need to have any classroom experience when you join us in the program. I hope that answers it. Ms. Mayer, do you want to ask the next question?
Sure. The question is, are there any internship or OPT experiences available after graduation? And the answer is that OPT is definitely available. In fact, it's one of the aspects of the program that is very interesting to our students. And our faculty and our university colleagues help you as you go through the program year to play, if you are interested in OPT, in planning for that and how you can make the most of your year, of your months or your year that you spend in the United States after graduation. We are so always excited to hear about the experiences our students engage in after graduation. And again, we put this information on our ITGL cohort site where you can actually see photos of our alums and you get a sense of what their experiences have been in OPT.
And as far as, can I hit on the
Yeah, please go ahead. Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, as far as the internships go, a lot of our students want to do internships while they're in the class with us, and we truly support that. There are internships that are available at Johns Hopkins University in many areas throughout the school, and because of that, you have that opportunity if you want. You have to actively seek them out. Sometimes we get requests from faculty in the School of Education asking for if there are students who would like to do that, but there are typically unpaid internships where you'll have an opportunity to work with one of our faculty who are doing research in a specific area. We have a number of students right now that are doing the internships using that particular format. Okay. The next question is the Master of Science in Education considered as a STEM program? And the answer to that is no. Our Master of Science in Education program, STEM programs, if you are designated as a STEM program, then you have other requirements that you must meet that go beyond what a typical Master of Science in Education degree is. And that also includes some time in the classroom in a student teaching format. So we don't do that because our program would have to then extend beyond the 1-year time frame. What you receive from us is a certificate of completion that you have completed the STEM focus area within the program, but it is not designated specifically as a STEM program as our federal government requires. The next question is,
I think that's for you.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, I think that's for you, Dr. Weisenhoff.
Okay. I just lost the questions. They're zipping along here. Typically, are there experienced teachers in the cohort, or is the program designed for pre-service teachers? We have a lot of students who come to our program who, for one reason or another, majored in business or finance or social work or psychology. And then somewhere along the way in their undergraduate program, they figured out that they would really like to go into education. They want to give back as much as they've been given by their parents or by society. So they've decided later on in their education that they want to come back and focus on education. So there are a large number of students that we have within the program who have no experience teaching. In fact, I'd say it's a predominant number that are not experienced teachers in any way. And all of our faculty are aware of that. And we make no assumptions that you have classroom experience when you're in our classes. So it's not required for you to have experience as a teacher. Next one's for you, Ms. Mayer.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I'd love to answer this next question. And I'm very glad you asked this question, Selma. So the question is, can you give more information about the ACE interview? Actually, we call it a screening session, and we work with ACE, our collaborator, to help us assess language proficiency in our applicants. So that's one aspect of it. And the other aspect of it is that we would like to hear during the interview that you are clear about the focus area you are selecting. And so during the ACE screening session, you would be able to say a few words about your interest in the program as well as the particular focus area you're selecting. And I also want to just say a few additional words here about the selection of the focus area. This is really important, and it's something that we're stressing with all our applicants, and that is that we are asking you to be clear in your screening session about your focus area, and then your essay should be referring to the same focus area. And when you make the selection of your focus area in your application, it should be the same focus area. So there are 3 opportunities for you to be clear with us about this focus area you're selecting. And the screening session is one of those 3 areas.
Okay. The next question talks about online or hybrid classes. Do you have any online or hybrid online plus on-campus program for international students in the School of Education? There are online programs that are in the School of Education. It really is a matter of what your interest is. This is a program for international students. We have a counseling program, which is a program that is face-to-face on campus. But then there's a program in digital education that is an online program. What we have found, though, is that because our format for this particular program is face-to-face. If you're interested in other School of Education programs, you should go to the School of Education website and take a look at each of the programs that the school has to offer and whether or not they're online or face-to-face. I will warn you, though, that the People's Republic of China, PRC, really focuses on programs and wants all of our students to have a face-to-face program if they're international students. So you need to be aware of that if you're a citizen of the PRC. Okay, the next question is, I hope to learn more about the creative and innovative education areas, such as what are some courses or topics that we are going to study about? And the answer to that question is we have all of the courses listed that you'll need in both the SOE admissions site, the SOE program site, and in addition to the ITGL website. All of the courses, along with the sequence that you would be taking them with course descriptions, are on those websites. If you haven't had an opportunity to review that, I strongly recommend that you go and take a look at those websites. And we'll post them up at the end here so that you can see what they are. Go on to those sites and you'll see all of the different classes that we offer and what the course objectives and expectations are within those classes.
The next question, yes, the next question is related to support, financial support. And the question is, are there scholarships to study in this master's degree? And the answer is, for the first time this year, the ITGL cohort is offering limited, what we're calling ITGL cohort fellowships. And these are partial grants that will be offered. You do not need to apply separately. And the decision, these are merit-based, as Dr. Weisenhoff said earlier. So we will be using information that you submit in your application. This is new this year. We will be sharing more information about the program as we get into spring semester. But just be aware that it is limited, but we're excited that this is the first year that we're able to offer some support to our international students.
And just remember, the deadline date is February 15th. If you're interested in the scholarship, you must have your application submitted by February 15th if you want to be considered for one of these grants.
Great. Thank you, Dr. Weisenhoff. That's important.
The next one is for you.
Yes, and the question is, will there be an additional charge for the career services, or is it included in the tuition fee? So the optional services that I described earlier, you will see the additional charges for those on our website. So for the housing services, the fee varies depending on the type of room you select. For the career services, if you select this optional service from ACE, is an additional $6,000. I do want to mention that if you decide not to select the optional career services, that there are also career services that are offered through the School of Education itself, as well as through the university. So you have a number of options there. But if you select the career services through ACE, the answer is yes, there is an additional fee and it's $6,000.
Great.
Mhm.
And the last question that we have right now that's posted is, what courses are students going to study in TEFL? Once again, any of the courses that you'll be taking, you can see specific names, descriptions, and objectives for the courses on the School of Education website. So I would refer you to that, as well as the ITGL cohort website, which will again give you the information for before we leave today. I see there are no more open questions, so I'm going to turn it back to our admission specialist. Oh, wait, somebody can. Here's one that count. What kinds of learners that the students majored in TEFL will teach? If your focus area is in TEFL, then the intent here is that you would be teaching speakers of other languages how to learn English. So you would be back home. Let's say you were a student in China, you would go back home, and for those students who are Mandarin, who speakers of Mandarin, and they want to learn English, that would be the typical type of students that you would expect to see within the TEFL area.
These have been really good questions so far, and
These are some really good questions today.
yeah.
All right, so it looks like there are no more questions. I'm going to advance to the next slide. All right, so here on this slide, we have some very important contact information. Any admissions related questions, please reach out to Ms. Tanya McMillan. Any program related questions, Ms. Carol Herman, and also Ms. Betsy Mayot's email addresses are on this slide as well. And then Ms. Mayot, do you want to talk a little bit about this cohort site here?
Yes, thank you. This is a link that will take you to our ITGL cohort site. And you've heard both Dr. Weisenhoff and I have both mentioned this site frequently during our presentation. This site is in addition to the ITGL program site, where you will see general information about the program. But on our ITGL cohort site here, this is where you will find information about our alums from previous years who have offered to make themselves available to anyone who's interested in learning more about the program or about a particular focus area. You can find their actual email addresses there. You can find out a little bit about them. Where are they right now? And more experience from them as to how the year has gone for them. So we really encourage you to be able to look at this site. As you can see, it's on the Google platform. So, but we do want to encourage you to take a look at that site for more information.
Education. Thank you to Dr. Weisenhoff and Ms. Betsy Mayot for the wonderful presentation today. We look forward to hearing from you. Have a wonderful morning or evening, everyone.